To make thinning decisions that will have a positive impact on a timber stand, forest managers need to consider how a tree's shade tolerance influences tree growth and development. The intent is to work to increase the residual tree's crown area so that it can capture the new resources made available by cutting competing trees. Understanding the link between tree competition for light and individual tree growth can inform approaches for making tree thinning decisions. Let's first look at stand structure. This graph shows the distribution by number of trees for an even-age stand comprised of only one species. The diameter distribution of the trees in the stand is on the horizontal axis, and the number of trees in the stand is on the vertical axis. The resulting curve approximates a normal distribution. Although there are some small and large tree diameters, most trees cluster near the average diameter. This graph is similar to the last. Tree diameter is on the horizontal axis, and the number of trees is on the vertical axis. Look at the distribution curves. The solid line represents a stand before cutting, and the dotted line represents the stand after cutting. Since the smaller trees will have poorer crowns and placement in the canopy, they are likely to die. The harvest prescribed here removes this potential mortality, as well as some of the larger competing codominant trees. The cut is heavier to the smaller trees, which then allows the average stand diameter to increase. In the end, the average stand diameter shifts to the right. The average diameter after cutting is increased, and because larger trees are left, the stand appears older. The idea of thinning in a single species stand is relatively straightforward. The cutting focuses on the poorer crowns and some of the competing codominant trees. Yet, seldom are stands comprised of only one species. More often, they contain a mix of species that can tolerate different levels of shade. Shade tolerance varies by species. In mixed species stands, each species develops its own diameter distribution based on its shade tolerance class. In even-age stands, the trees that dominate the canopy are often shade intolerant. Therefore, to capture the resources they need, they have to be able to grow at a faster rate. Shade-intolerant trees self-prune their lower branches as they grow taller. As a tree crown develops in height and width, it casts shade onto the lower and inner crown leaves and branches. At some point, these shaded parts become so inefficient at converting sunlight that the tree discards them. This process of self-pruning occurs more readily in shade-intolerant tree species. Eventually, these dead limbs decay and fall, and the tree covers over the area where they grew with new wood that hides the defects and encloses a knot under clear wood. Through this process, trees produce clear lumber, which is often more valuable. In well-managed, even-age stands, shade-intolerant trees tend to occupy the upper, crown codominant and dominant classes. Logically, the taller trees will have larger diameters, and a careful observer will note that these diameter distributions represent species or species groups that grow at similar rates, such as red and black oak or yellow poplar and cucumber. In this graph, the single-species cutting model extends to a stand of mixed-species trees and shows how shade tolerance varies for three species. The diameter distribution of the trees in the stand is on the horizontal axis, and the number of trees in the stand is on the vertical axis. The blue line represents the sum of the three species curves. Let's look at the species individually. Sugar maple is very shade tolerant, and red maple is moderately shade tolerant. Black cherry is intolerant of shade. Due to their faster growth rate, red maple and black cherry, the shade-intolerant trees extend into the upper canopy, have larger stem diameters, and are much fewer in number. Red maple is more shade-tolerant than the black cherry and has more small stems per acre. The sugar maple has the most stems per acre. These trees may all grow in one stand and may all be the same age, yet there are different average stem diameters for each species. Think about how best to cut this stand. Let's see what happens. Note how the distribution curves changes for sugar maple, shifting to the right. That means that the stand average diameter increases and the best individuals of the species are retained. The same shift occurs for red maple, and the same type of shift for black cherry. Here are the post-cut distribution curves for the sugar maple, the red maple, and the black cherry. This line represents the sum of all the species curves before the cut, and this dotted line shows the diameter distribution of all species after the cut. The cut has removed the trees with the smallest diameters, the lower ends of the distributions. More small trees were cut than bigger trees. By cutting in this manner in a stand, it is possible to retain all species, increase the average stand diameter, and provide more resources and growing space to the best trees. All of these are desirable outcomes. Understanding how stand structure and crown size affect competition for light and tree growth can help inform tree thinning decisions.